want to thank a few people. I want to thank Dan. Today Dan's running sound and his recorder. Thank you. I want to thank Carol Anderson for helping out setting this up. Ben Miska, great guy. He used to play trombone for me back in the old days. And thank Molly. Molly's been a great point person here. Spent a lot of time, my wife and I, talking to her about setting this up. Who did I forget? Anyway, you guys. And I really want to thank you guys for being here. This is wonderful. The music's important. We really want to enjoy the music, and it's important that we do it well. But for me right now, it's about memories. Thank you. So, we're going to play good, and we're going to have time to talk and reminisce, tell some stories, and enjoy talking about the past. This is and I'll talk more about that. But anyway, right now, I want to introduce you to somebody, Mr. Conrad Miska. Don't come up yet. Anyway, I have to tell you about Conrad. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but Conrad, and both seniors when I got here, class of 75. And I remember Conrad, he played the tenor sax in jazz band and in band. And, but his real love appeared to me to be singing. He was part of some vocal group, playing guitar and singing, and that was his first love, it appeared to me. Anyway, one day, Francis Colby, the great jazz band instructor there, a trumpet player, excellent guy, he calls me. You want to come? Can I come and play for your band in your band high school? Absolutely. So he comes and plays, and they were great. Conrad heard this, and his life has changed. It's true. Anyway, went out right away and bought a Mark 6. It's a high-quality silver saxophone. He went off to college to Mayville and became this wonderful teacher, and teaching in Egan. And today he's retired, and he has his own jazz band in the Minneapolis area, and it's good. I've heard it. So Conrad, all yours. So since this is his specialty, he has rehearsed the band, and he will lead the band.
Many of us met each other on the stage yesterday. So I'll apologize if it takes us a minute or two to review what we're going to do between tunes. We'll try to go pretty quickly.
call from somebody. He sounds like he's from the South. And he says, I've got this guy. I want him to come and sing. I hear you got this jazz band here. Now I want him to come and sing for you. Anyway, so, okay, that's fine. So at this time, I would like to introduce to you Mr. Willie Nelson.
So this is Ward, Minnesota, huh? I bet you wondered what I came all the way up north for. I've kind of wondered myself. Actually, it's kind of an interesting story. My agent called me on my cell phone. We had kind of a bad connection, and he said Charlie, and it was cracking sounded, asked me to come up and do a benefit concert up in northern Minnesota. Well, the only Charlie I knew was Charlie Daniels of the Charlie Daniels band. And he wasn't doing very good. In fact, he passed me over here. So I said, well, if it's important for Charlie, I'll come up here to do that, you see. So that's how I ended up being here. But it was I thought, you know, a benefit up here, I looked and I saw that Warren was right in the Red River Valley, big agricultural area. And some of you older people might remember when I did the Farm Aid concerts, went around the United States doing that. So I kind of figured it would be a Farm Aid deal. Well, now I come here and I find out I'm singing for a band aid. But that's actually kind of appropriate because I just about got killed by a car here not that long ago. I just missed it. Actually, my fault. I was playing on the road again. But anyway, where's this real Charlie? Who's right? Well, you look a little older than I expected you to. Yeah. Did you get, how old are you? Do you remember how old you are?
Well, I have a little trouble with memory, but I am
74.
74. And did they give you a half-day pass from the nursing home or a full pass?
I feel very healthy.
Well, you look really good. But you know what? Somebody told me that I look at least 10 years younger now that I grew up my hair in braids. Have you ever thought about that? Oh, that's it now. Okay, that must be odd. Well, let's sing, because I got to get back on the bus and head back to Lukenbach, Texas.
Shine class of 75, that's me, and Danny and I were in Charlie's first graduating class. And if you think that teenagers are really flexible and up for change and trying new things, you are so wrong. You are so wrong. I had a new band director my senior year of high school, and I also had a new band director my senior year of college. And I have so many regrets for so much time that I wasted, not just going to forget everything old and hop in both feet with the new. But there are, of course, some great stories to go along with it. Many of you know that Charlie's got out of the Army, and he used to tell us, even as high school seniors, that the Army means discipline. But that's not what somebody who's 16 or 17 wants to hear, because of course we know everything. Totally know everything. So early on in the year, Mr. Roux had handed out this great piece of concert band literature, which now as a former band director, I know just how important that piece was. It was from the Holst Suites, right? Gustav Holst's first suite in E flat. If you're not familiar with band literature, the full title of that is the first suite in E flat for military band. So of course, my teenage brain is working and going, oh man, I know what he's doing. He's gonna make us play one of these Army tunes. So little did I know what a great piece of music it was. My best friend in high school, who's here in the audience, had this great idea. I'm so sorry I'm gonna do this, I didn't know you'd be here. But this great idea to have a little fun with it, start singing, we're in the Army now, and Charlie goes, quiet! Do you remember it? I remember it like it's yesterday. About January or so, a lot of us started to figure out what a really good guy he was, and he called me to his office for a chat someplace around just after the first of the year, and asked me, since he said, you're kind of a leader, but I think he may have said ringleader. Said, since you're kind of a ringleader, what if you can use your influence to get people to want to do more than new things? So I deeply regret even spending a few weeks or a few months not jumping with both feet with Charlie Roux, because he was a very, very, very fine teacher here that community Warren knows for a lot of years. That's all I got.
Thank you, Conrad. I'd like to introduce to you Joel Ness, but before I do that, listening to you talk reminded me of something that I want to tell you. When I first got here, I was kind of serious, and he was right, it was kind of military. Anyway, first day of band, I decided to play a march. How stupid was that? And I didn't smile, and I just was tough. Anyway, when band was over that day, half the band ran into Jerry Dalzell's office and said, this guy's gotta go. Julie, you remember that, Julie? And Jerry Dalzell, I have to tell you, I respect you for what you did for me. You didn't even know me, and you said to those guys, if you can judge a man in one day, you go ahead and quit. We don't want you. Thank you, Jerry. Okay, I want to introduce to you Joel Ness. Joel is what I consider a friend of the band. I don't remember this, but he said he did this. Remember Mark Sager, some of you? Yeah. They went to school together, and Mark and him would come back from college, and they'd play in my pep band. I don't remember that, but he says he did. Anyway, so that's his connection with us. Joel Ness is an engineer, teaches at the University of North Dakota, and he's also a big farmer, fisher. Okay, Joel. Oh yeah, you guys heard of Maine and Ferguson, right? This is our Maine and Ferguson. Oh yeah, I forgot, yeah. And also have 9-1 handy. Any nurses out there? We may need you afterwards.
Okay, I'm going to say something. Don't look at that. Practice makes permanent. Heard that a couple times. Had so much fun. Jazz band was my favorite part. I got into the jazz band in 8th grade because I played guitar, and he was lucky enough to take a chance on me. I got to go to Chicago that year. Dave, and I'm not sure if Julie was along, Krista Rosendahl was there. Never going to forget that. Really fun thing for me, a couple of years ago, we had a music camp at my church, and I was going to take all of the other instruments. So the regular band guys were going to take the guitars and the basses and the drums and the singers, and I got everything else. So I got stringed instruments like middle school, high school, viola players, and trumpets and saxophones, and I had to try and teach them how to play music in church, like contemporary music. So like how to read the lead sheet, that was my goal for the week. And I started working on this, and then I realized I'm not a music teacher. And I haven't thought about music in B-flat and E-flat for a long time. So I called in the big gun, Charlie came, and after a week of awkwardly calling him Charlie, we had a lot of fun. We got these kids to sound really awesome, and we had kind of a awesome church pep band going, and the kids wrote their own parts, reading off of lead sheets, and we accomplished a lot. My daughter Sonia was in that group playing cello, along with all these other instruments, and she said at the end of the week, Charlie was very intense.
That was Herb Thompson on the trumpet up there. What's Herb's connection to our band? Herb's a retired music teacher from East Grand Forks, correct? All right, and jazz band guy. Anyway, back in the early 90s, David had graduated already, and I had Stephen, my youngest son, was playing drums. And Stephen's kind of a rock and roll kind of drum. And I wanted to play jazz, and so I said, David, you got to come home and teach your brother how to swing and how to play jazz. David had good chops, Stephen had good chops. Anyway, so David did his job. He taught him how to swing. And anyway, Stephen did it, and Herb was our adjudicator. He was our judge. When we get done playing, he comes walking up to the band. You guys belong in a nightclub. And you can thank your drummer for that, too. So anyway, that's Herb's connection with us.
Warren High School class of '84, and I really did come from Alabama with a trombone in my car. I'm neither a parent or a teacher, but I think I understand a little bit of the heartache challenges that those two roles involve. For example, you have to come to terms with the fact that the results of your efforts are not always evident, at least not to you. Sometimes it takes years before the results or the impact that you had on someone's life can be seen or felt. Now, back in high school, Mr. Maruska had all of us come to sing for him individually to make sure that he was placing us in the appropriate section. Now, I was such a coward about singing where someone could actually hear me that he took pity on me and let me sing with a friend instead of all alone. And my band directors, Mr. Sedgman and Mr. Roux, I think, saw that same timidity when it came to playing trombone. But thanks to the foundation that my music educators laid down for me, and the occasional exasperated exhortation from Mr. Roux, who'd say, "Confidence, Coles, I want confidence." I eventually developed into the type of person who actually has the guts to get up on stage and sing or play all by myself.
Okay, introduce Julie to you. Back in '93, we went to Washington, D.C. with the jazz band, and we played at the old post office. The old post office doesn't exist anymore. It was remodeled, I don't know what it is. Anyway, Julie sang these two songs there, and we had a great time. It was like a mall, and people all over the place, and she had a few fans. Anyway, Julie's got a great voice. I love her enthusiasm, and all I can say is when Julie sings, I smile.
I'll probably run into this one. Say something? No?
I probably should have helped her to cry.
I'll start to cry myself.
I need to Singing is so much easier than just speaking, I have to tell you that. Now this one goes a lot faster.
Drew wants another story. So even after 40 years, I still can't call him Charlie hardly. It's still Mr. Drew. They're always going to be that way. He was an inspiration to me. But I thought you might want to know how this all started today. I think it was 2 years ago tonight at one of my classmates' house. It might have been a margarita party. We might have been having, well, I might have been having margaritas. I'm not sure if he did, but we were standing in Carole kitchen, and this light came through the window, and it struck Charlie and I standing there, and all of a sudden I jumped up and I said, "The band! We've got to get the band back together." Anyway, this is a great opportunity for me. I get to play on stage with my brother here, Mark, my old bandmate, Debbie, who used to just torment me relentlessly when we were in school. My Joanne Peterson Grega back there, who was my accompanist back in church and as a teenager, and met a lot of great new friends. Conrad, the legendary Conrad Miska, who I'd heard about so many times. Anyway, it's a great time. I hope you're enjoying it. I sure am. I wouldn't have cared if the audience showed up at all. We're having a good time. Thanks.
I just gave it away, sorry. I had it inside my head.
So, I'm David, the oldest Roux, and lest anyone thinks that there's favoritism because you're a director's son. So I grew up the director's son, obviously, so they're always like, oh, you get more food because you're the director's son, you get all these favoritism. I'm like, no. So, I also played the trombone. I wasn't just the drummer. I didn't want to play a drum in the concert band because I got kind of like, I want to do something else. There's so many drummers, so I play trombone. Well, we all know, stereotypically, trumpet players tend to be, well, maybe a favorite, maybe. Especially me, of course, right? No, the jokesters. That's kind of their personality a little bit. And so in concert band, what am I doing with my friend Rod back there? Dinking around. You know, we're talking, we're pouring water in the mouthpieces of other people, so they can't, you know, they spit and it all comes out. They can't play the horn, so we're doing all that kind of stuff. We're talking through the whole thing. I don't think my dad ever gave me a warning. He just looked at me, and you know the look. Many of you do. He said, David, Rodney, out. He kicked us out for the day. I don't know where we went. We went to Mr. Del Del's house. I don't know. I just know we were out. And that was the end of it, and everyone's like, oh, no favorites. So, that's nice one.
All right, we're going to play one more song for you. But before we do that, I don't know, I guess I want to say goodbye and tell you, oh dear. I just want to talk just for a moment about what it meant to live here in Warren, Minnesota. I mean, being in this school, it was a good school, very good school. And I really learned to appreciate it after I left and went to where I was for 16 years. There was a major contrast between this school, I'll be nice, major contrast between this school and the school I went to, Howard Lake. Howard Lake had trouble understanding the 21st century. They understand the concept of progress. Anyway, it was a challenge to be there. There was a lack of discipline. It was wild, not like we had here. I thought about Jerry. What? What? Yeah. And I can't tell you, Jerry, how many times I thought about you my first year at Howard Lake. I know what Jerry would have done. But anyway, we made it work. I won the band over. We never had as good a bands or jazz bands as we had here, but we were good. And today, Howard Lake is a great place to be. My wife and I were retired since 2012. We go back there and we substitute teach, and that's fun. Especially when you go back to a place where they know you. Anyway, Howard Lake today has a beautiful school out in the cornfield, a high school and a middle school, beautiful athletic complexes. It's just a good place now. Anyway, but for us living here, everything we did when it came to music or sports, it was like a family affair for us. And so we had fun, and anyway, it was a great place to raise our sons. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here today. One more song. We're going to play In the Mood, Glenn Miller arrangement. Right?